On October 31, 2025, at 1:09 a.m. local time, 2 observers in Prospect, Connecticut, were witness to an extraordinary event that would leave them shaken. The sighting began with a glowing object hovering over the thick woods behind their parents' house, which seemed to be moving westward. At first, they thought it might be someone having a fire, but as they watched, the object transformed into a cluster of light that then dispersed into 4 or 5 separate orbs floating in opposite directions. The whole encounter lasted around 4 minutes, with no sound accompanying the spectacle. The observers were left speechless and shaken by what they had seen, and the experience would stay with them forever. On June 11, 2026, at approximately 8:49 p.m. local time, a bizarre sighting unfolded in Redondo Beach, California. A single observer, an airline pilot with a U.S. major carrier, witnessed the incident from his own backyard. The strange object appeared as a white light that suddenly shifted to green, defying explanation. Measured by its incredible speed, estimated at over 1,000 miles per hour, this unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP, moved in multiple directions, changing course unlike any aircraft or drone. Its closest proximity was approximately 20 to 30 miles away from Los Angeles International Airport, sparking questions about the true nature of this enigmatic sighting. On June 6, 2026, at approximately 8:18 p.m. local time, a resident of Minneapolis, Minnesota witnessed a bizarre and unexplained phenomenon that would leave them questioning the nature of reality. As they sat down to enjoy dinner on their patio, they were suddenly caught off guard by a shimmering, silver object hovering in the sky. The shape appeared to be changing form, emitting smaller objects as it moved slowly across the horizon. The witness estimated its size to be roughly equivalent to a small aircraft, and its speed was significantly slower than that of a commercial plane. As they watched in awe, a spherical structure detached and reattached itself several times before disappearing into the distance. What's even more astonishing is that another identical object appeared on the scene, mimicking the same movements as if it were following the first. The witness, a 35-year-old female with no prior intoxicants or substances involved, recorded the encounter and was left wondering what they had just witnessed. On September 1, 2025, at 11:38 p.m., I witnessed something extraordinary outside my home in Elmira, Michigan. As a retired couple living on a rural property with no streetlights or neighbors, we're accustomed to the darkness and quiet of the night. That evening, I captured an unusual light display using my iPhone 15 for about 1 minute and 20 seconds. The object appeared as a single unit with 3 distinct illuminated sections that pulsed pink and white, shifting through many other colors. These sections constantly changed shape, moving and transforming independently yet remaining part of one connected object. As I recorded the event, I noticed the light seemed to shrink and disappear around the 1 minute 20 second mark. I continued filming for another 10 seconds, knowing that cameras sometimes detect things the naked eye can't, similar to the northern lights. After returning indoors, I glanced out the window and was surprised to see the light again. Assuming it must have been temporarily obscured by trees earlier, I ignored it. But upon reviewing the footage the next day, I noticed the object didn't simply vanish, instead, it moved in a V pattern and zipped away. Just over a month later, on September 28, while watching TV with my husband, I again spotted lights outside the same window. This time, what I saw was far more complex. There were multiple lights of different shapes and colors, appearing and disappearing in front of the house. On December 18, at around 8 p.m. local time, something extraordinary happened in Mount Vernon, Washington. For eyewitnesses reported a bizarre sighting that would leave them shaken and wondering what they had just seen. The encounter began with a bright white light emerging from the trees, heading straight for their home. Initially, they thought it was going to crash into their house, prompting them to rush their kids inside. But as the object approached, it suddenly veered away from their home and off to the side. The witnesses were stunned by what they saw, a massive triangle-shaped craft, roughly the size of a small house, with flashing green and red lights and a low humming sound accompanying its movement. On May 31, 2026, at approximately 7:06 p.m. local time, a remarkable UFO sighting took place over Survey Park in Kolkata, West Bengal, India. The single observer reported seeing a bright, silent spherical aerial object hovering in the sky for around 30 to 40 seconds. Characterized by its stable white brightness and complete lack of blinking navigation lights, this unusual craft defied identification as standard commercial aircraft or consumer drones under local aviation regulations. As it moved from west to north at an estimated elevation of 50 to 70 degrees, the object displayed a distinctive oscillating movement pattern before vanishing behind a tree line. The observer was able to capture 6 seconds of steady video evidence using a fixed tripod, featuring a faint white trail or dust-like vapor visible behind the craft as it disappeared into the dark sky. On May 29, 2026, at approximately 3:08 p.m. local time, a bizarre sighting was reported from Fleet, England. The observer claimed to have seen an unusual object hovering in the sky for about 2 minutes. Describing it as dumbbell-shaped and black in color, the witness believed it could be a helium balloon, but its slow movements and spinning motion led them to reconsider. The object moved back and forth, slowly changing direction before eventually disappearing into the clouds. With no string or tether visible, the observer was left wondering what they had just seen. On May 28, 2026, a bizarre sighting unfolded in Colorado Springs, Colorado. 3 siblings, playing in their backyard, suddenly stopped to gaze up at the sky. Their 14-year-old son, fascinated by what he saw, quickly grabbed his iPhone and began recording. The object, shaped like a sombrero hat, appeared as a dark disk with no visible lights. Estimated to be roughly the size of a small car, it hovered in the distance, around 1,000 to 10,000 feet away. As the family watched in awe, the UFO seemed to vanish behind clouds before reappearing on camera. The video, captured over the course of just 37 seconds, has left many wondering about this peculiar encounter. On May 27, 2026, at approximately 9:45 a.m. local time, a bizarre sighting unfolded in Tacoma, Washington. A single observer reported seeing an extraordinary object hovering above the water, which would be documented later that morning on video. The object took the shape of a triangle, with a bright white color that seemed unnaturally radiant. Its reflection could be seen across the water's surface, stretching far beyond where the observer was standing. What's striking is that the reflection appeared to have a gap, as if the light itself was floating above the water or perhaps even among the trees. The surrounding environment couldn't compare to the intensity of this phenomenon, which left an indelible mark on the eyewitness who managed to capture it on film. On a warm spring evening, May 26, 2026, at 1:20 a.m. local time, an extraordinary event unfolded in Lakeville, Massachusetts. A single observer reported witnessing a remarkable spectacle that would leave experts scratching their heads. The sighting lasted a mere 2 minutes and 55 seconds, but its impact would be felt for days to come. As the observer described it, a purple orb-like object, approximately 1 to 2 feet above the lawn, began flashing in a repetitive pattern. This mesmerizing display was not limited to just the orb itself, it also emitted beams that seemed to react with the surrounding environment. In fact, the observer noted that animals on their property reacted strangely to this energy. What's more, aircraft were seen flying nearby, and some believed these lights might be connected to an electrical or magnetic effect. The observer even detected organized patterns of light particles creating shapes that resembled crafts descending from above. With neighbors also reporting unusual sightings, it became clear that something extraordinary was happening in this quiet Massachusetts town.